we're going to do something a little different today. We're going to be combining Illustrator graphics, that's vector graphics, and bring it into Photoshop, and then doing our own little thing and creating something similar to this logo that you see here. And here I used a vector graphic of this lightning bolt, added a bit of color to it, brightened it up a bit, and then I put some text on and added a nice lens effect. And this literally did not take me long, about half an hour at the most. I also like to find a tutorvid because I did follow his tutorial on how to create the lightning bolt in Illustrator, and it is a very simple way to do it. So if you have Illustrator, we're going to boot that one up. So here's mine booted earlier. And we always start off with a brand new document. So I'm going to go into File, New, and then any moment now this is going to work. And I want to create something as lightning. And this is for web, and I'm going to set it to a bit bigger. It doesn't have to be too big, but yeah, I'm going to set it to 1024 by 768. And because this is going to be on, this is an image that's going to be used on the internet, I'm very happy for it to be just set to the web. So it's made set to custom, like web. Choose it for that one. I changed it to custom, that's a bit silly. But yeah, I'm fine with that, and I'm going to go OK. It's going to give me hopefully a nice big document. I don't know why it's lagging a bit here. Okay, for some reason Illustrator's just shrunk to this tiny bit here, so that's a bit silly. First Illustrator tutorial I do, and it decides to shrink on me, so let's try new again. That was a good explanation of this. Okay. There we go, we got a document. As you can see, there we go. All set up and ready. Right, so we've got Illustrator working, so I'm going to click on the side here and open up my appearance, and we're in layer 1. So to get started, I'm actually going to, first of all, change my fill color to black so I can see what it is I'm working with, and I'm actually going to turn my stroke color. With Illustrator, if you're not used to it, you have a fill color and you have a stroke color, and the stroke color can be like what goes around it, and the fill color the filling on the inside. But I don't want that turned on, so you can either, with it selected, click on this icon, which is none, which is the dash there. So we want something like that, so I'm quite happy with that. So yeah, that's the fill color and a dash. So with Illustrator again, we're going to use the pen tool. Now I know some people really hate the pen tool, but it can be extremely useful. So in the toolbar here, we've got the pen tool, or you can press P on your keyboard. I'm going to select that, and then in my stage anywhere, I'm just going to click once and add a vector point. I'm going to move down and a little bit to the side, and so I've got a bit of an angle, so I'm going to click again, and then actually I'm going to, you can press Ctrl Z and just try again. Yeah, that's a bit better. Then I can move to the side and what you could do, actually, I've just realised this now, if you hold shift you can click, just hold shift and click once, and you've created nice bit there. Actually, I'm going to make this level with the top here. I'm being fussy now. There you go. So that's sort of level there, and then I can just go down here and just click once again, and we kind of got this weird, rather cool S shape going on here, but it's not the fill we want at the moment. This is just giving us a nice look of what we're going to be creating. Next, I'm going to switch this to the stroke, and this is easily done if you have a look down here in the toolbar. We have this little weird arrows, swap the fill and the stroke, or you can press Shift and X. If I click on it, it's changed it into sort of half a lightning bolt here. And following vid, I'm actually going to make the line a bit thicker. So up here in appearance, remember, if you don't have the same as me, you can always go to window and everything should be in here. So there's appearance if you don't have it. And I'm actually going to make the, I think my computer's just having a bit of a hissy fit at the moment and just not responding. You can see it's loading there. My computer for some reason really does not like being recorded. So here I can actually increase the stroke. So about 4 is a nice fit color. So you can see what I'm doing. Oops, didn't want to do that. So I'm going to get my selector tool. You can press V on your keyboard. So we've got this shape here. I actually want to duplicate this. So I'm going to press Alt and can I actually do that? Just trying to find the right tool I need. Or better still, you know, make this easy. I'm going to go to Edit, Copy, and Edit, Paste. Oop. Okay, for some reason, make sure you got the whole thing selected, and then try again. Copy, Edit, Paste. There we go, we got the whole thing, which is much better. And I'm just going to move this just about... Yeah, that's a good place. Just make sure this line's a bit up. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to use the direct select tool and I'm just going to join these lines up together. So to do that, all I have to do is, where is it? Direct select tool is this one here. Press A, it's underneath the selected tool, and I click on this point here, and I can actually click and move this up here to this point. And can I do the same down here? Move this one down to there. So now I've got a pretty funky lightning bolt here. And what I'm going to do next, I'm actually going to join these points together. So I'm going to click and drag to select the 2 corner bits there. And is it Object, Path, and there we go. So it's Object, Path, Join. Now going to see the other half, we have a top one. You're going to select these 2 points and I'm going to join them together. So I'm going to go Object, Path, Join, and there we go. So now hopefully this will treat this like one object. So if I click on it, yeah, treats it as one big object there. So now I can flip the color. So this should be a nice fill color. So if I click on down here, like we did before, the switch, this little arrow. So there you go. We got a nice lightning bolt there. It's not pretty. That's not too bad actually. It's pretty cool. You could easily tweak this around if you want. If you're not quite happy, like tweak that point maybe a bit. No, quite happy with that. Nah, I'm just gonna leave that as it is. I'm quite happy. I'll maybe tweak the top one here. Oh, if you find you got an extra one there, you can always. Which one is it? You can get your cursor, you can get your pen tool and delete an anchor point. And I can just hover over this one and delete it. So if you find you've always got one more you want, you can always delete it. And you can always manipulate this. So yeah, I'm quite happy with that. So yeah, that's a pretty cool lightning bolt there. Actually, I could move this up a bit. No, it just feels like every time I move something, it doesn't quite work. So, up a bit. Maybe to the side. I see, it's nice. You could select these 2 points and just. It's a bit tricky doing this. Just use the arrow key. Make it a bit fatter. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Quite happy with that. You see, I do fuss around with this quite a bit. So yeah, I'm quite happy with that. So what we're going to be doing next, we're going to be adding the gradients to make it look more like a lightning bolt. Now to give it a sort of a gradient look to this, I'm going to click on this icon here, which is the gradient. If you don't have it, you can always go to window. Just gonna wait for this program to work a bit. and you click on gradient down here, or you can click this icon right there. Both do exactly the same, and eventually my program will work. What we're going to do, we're going to use the gradient and create a nice metallic look, and we're going to manipulate that and create some nice different shapes. So we've got the gradient here. Oh, helps if I select the tool gradient. Is it going to apply the gradient? No, it isn't. That's a bit disappointing. As you can tell, it takes me a while to get used to Illustrator, so let's try that again. There you go. Click on the gradient and it adds the gradient. I am going to change the angle of this, so maybe about 90. I could do this manually, so I'm just going to type this in. 90 degrees. So we're going it from top to bottom. And what we're going to do, we're going to create like contrast of color. So do we have a swatches somewhere? Color guide. I'm used to using like PhotoShop and things like that, so I am I am used to that a lot better. But this is what this program's about, trying different things, and I think being a bit braver with it and help my program would work. That's very frustrating. So yeah, we've got our different colors, and what we're going to do, we're going to create what's called like high contrast. So I'm going to put a bunch of icons there. I'm going to probably location 10. I think this one can be location 20. Location, by location I'm saying how much of a percentage it is. So location 40. What's that one? That was location 20. So that needs to be location 30. 40. Let's just space them nice and evenly out. About 50. Select these. That's 60, bang on. That's 70, 80, and this one should be good old 90. And with these colors, I'm going to like select them, and then I can choose like different colors. And over here in the color swatch, we've got this one, and I'm going to set it to like a darker gray. And the next one, I'm going to set this one to something a bit lighter. And then the next one, I'm thinking a black. And the next one, let's go to the other extreme, a white. And what we're doing, we're creating what's called contrast. So we're just mixing it up a bit. And the next one, I'm thinking a bit of a light grey there. And the next one, nice and dark. I'm going here much lighter, like actually I'll go white there. Again, maybe about mid color, maybe darker. And this one, very light. And the end one, I'm going to make a solid black. Actually, I might change one of these two. I should change. Maybe that one should be the white. That one, the black. It takes a while just to manipulate this to get it just right. Yeah, that will do. I'm quite happy with that. So we've got a nice set of colours there, quite different colours, you know, just different shades of grey. So the next thing we're going to do, we're going to manipulate this and kind of switch it over. Now we got our lightning bolt sorted. What we're going to do, we're going to do a couple of things to it. So we've got kind of like a nice edge to it, so it looks very much more metallic. So first of all, we're going to add the inside, and then we're going to go back and add the outside. Actually, we're going to add the outside first. I think that'll be better. So we're going to have our image selected and go to Edit, Copy, then Edit, Paste in back. And with that selected, I'm going to go to Object, Path, Offset Path. I'm going to set it to 4. I'm going to click Preview just to see what it looks like. It's a bit thick for my liking, so I might reduce that. Actually, I might leave it as a 4. You know, thick is good. So I'm going to click OK. So we've got this compound in the back here, which is I think I'm using, well, the version I'm using is CS5, so that's fine. I'm going to click on the path on top here, and what we're going to do with this one, we're going to switch it so that it's kind of like the opposite. So if it's selected, I'm going to go up to gradient and go -90, and you should have something that comes up like this, and that is pretty cool. That's a nice effect to it there. So I'm going to click on the path on top again, so this one here. We've got path and then compound there. And with this one, I'm going to duplicate it, but this time put it on top. So go to Edit, Copy, Edit, Paste in front. So it's in front now. And this time, Object, Path, Offset Path, and this time I'm going to set it to -4. Let's see what that looks like. It's kind of overlapping there, which is really annoying. Do have to set it to 4. Let's try -2. -2 seems to work, so I'm going to click OK. And with the path there selected, I'm going to pull off these colors. So I've got these two left over, so I'm going to select this grey and turn it to white, and I'm going to take this black and move it down here. Actually, I'm going to keep it white on top. There you go. If I want it more white than black, and keep that black and actually just change it to a lighter grey. And there you go, that is pretty cool. And with that still selected, I'm going to add a nice stroke color. So over in the stroke, we can either choose stroke here in the appearance or down there, either way. I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to set it to a dark grey color. Or should I say it's a compound? To increase it so you can see it enough. I may have gone a bit overboard, so I'm just going to There you go, my camera's lagging a bit, so I am really not sure what's happened there. That's a bit unusual, so I'm just going to undo that until it goes back to normal. For some reason it's gone down a bit, which is very weird. Yeah, I'm just going to put it up to 3, so that is pretty cool so far. That's not too bad. I might select this one down here and just... Nah, it's fine as it is there. So, you know, it's not bad as it is there. So there's my lightning bolt looking kind of funky and cool there. So what I'm going to do next, I am going to take this into Photoshop. Now to do that, we're going to File. Well, first of all, save it. So save as. I'm going to save it as a nice lightning in Illustrator there. next. You're going to have this coming up, so I'm going to go OK. And finally, we're going to take this into Photoshop. So we're going to go File, Export, and then we can say what we're going to export it as. So I'm going to change mine to Lightning, actually change it from AutoCAD drawing to PNG. And what PNG does, it gets rid of the background. So PNG document is what I want, so Lightning. There we go. And here I can check that the color is transparent, which is exactly what I want. And 300 pixels per inch, that is absolutely fine. So I'm going to click OK. And then I can close down this. I'm done with Illustrator now, so I can get rid of this. I'm quite happy with the way it's come out. I can open Photoshop and open up. I'm going to go File, New. And any moment now, I'm going to get a new document. I'll admit, it does take a while to load these different programs. It doesn't help if you've got multiple ones, especially when you're recording. So that is probably why it's taking so long to just get this working. And there we go. It's loading something. Great. I'm just going to leave it as untitled for now, and I'm going to change it to, let's see, Web. And I'm going to set this as 120, yeah, 12080 by 1024. That's absolutely fine there. And 72 pixels per inch, that's fine for me because I'm going to use this full screen. So I'm going to click OK. And we have a white background. I don't really want my background to be white, so I'm just going to move this to the side. I'm going to select my bucket fill-in tool, set my main color to black, and just fill this in black. There we go, that's quite handy, that's all done now. So now I can import my image. So first I'm going to go to File, Open, and navigate to my image. So I think I put it in, for some reason, not websites, sorry. Going to the wrong place here. I think I put it in graphic work. For some reason it's gone in web design there, and there's my Lightning. We want the PNG file. So click Open. And there's my lightning bolt, so I can go Edit, select all, then Edit, Copy, and go back to my new document, and then simply just go Edit, Paste. Ooh, my lightning bolt is much too big, so I'm going to have to change this slightly. So if we go to the marquee tool, it's on circle, I'm just going to change this back to rectangle. I can right click, free transform, or Control and T, does the same thing. And I'm holding the shift button to keep everything in proportion, and just scale this down a bit. Move it, just keep going till it's absolutely perfect. This is a handy thing with, there we go, that's pretty cool. So there we go, we've got our shape. Now what we're going to do next, we are going to add a color effect using a brush tool that I've used before. But we want to select the area we're going to be working with. So I'm going to get what's called the Magic Wand tool, and I'm going to select the layer outside my arrow, and it's going to select the area outside my lightning bolt. So I'm going to create a new layer by clicking on this icon down here, and now the problem is I don't want to select the area outside the lightning bolt. I want to select everything inside of it. Now we can do this by right clicking, and we can do, where is it? Select inverse. And what this does, it swaps everything around so that it's going to be the lightning bolt that's selected. So select that, and we can see that the edge is gone, it's just the inside that's selected. Now here's a little tip that I've done before. I'm going to use my brush tools. So I'm going to click on swatches, and I'm going to pick a nice deep purpley color. And then I'm going to go into Window, Brush, and get my brush tool ready. And we want to set it to, let's see, hardness at 0%. And we're going to increase the size a bit. It's going to be a very thick brush here. So we keep increasing the size. Oop, don't want to change the angle. There we go. Yeah, that's a good brush. Actually, make it a bit smaller. Yeah, that's fine. Maybe a tad smaller again. So now I'm going to click on Shape Dynamics. We've done this before in another tutorial, but if you're not used to it, I'm going to increase the size jitteriness up here to the maximum. And what else can I do? Yeah, that's fine. Size jitteriness and maximum diameter. Can I? That's fine. I'm going to click on Scattering, and you can see it scatters a bit. I'm just going to decrease this a little bit, and yeah, that's fine. And count, yep, you can leave it like that. And then I'm also going to click on Color Dynamic, and what we're going to do here, I'm going to increase the hue a bit, so just about 40 is a good color to go with. And also I'm using CS5 Photoshop. If you're using 6 or more, you may have an option in brush shape, or is it shape done? You may have it in Color Dynamics to change the color at each tip. Make sure that is ticked if you're using CS6, but for me, I'm okay. I don't have that option, so I don't need to worry about it. So now I can just scribble. I'm not loving the colors. I may have to undo that. Oh, I just realized my occupancy on my brush is set to 72. I want it up a bit more. I may have to change the hue a bit more. Maybe see. Not loving those colors, by the way. Let's see. Maybe go with a brighter pink, or it's actually a much stronger, vibrant pink. No, you just play around with the colors. Maybe choose the hue down slightly. There we go, that's a bit better. Maybe not pink. Maybe a quite vibrant purple. No, more of a plum. Yeah, you play around with the colours until you get what you want. Ah, that's it. That's the colour I'm going for there. You can be very finicky with your colours and everything, just go crazy. That's kind of cool. I like that. And because it's the area selected, it only covers that area. So I can get rid of that. And now, with this layer selected, I'm going to change it from normal blending, and unfortunately you can't see it, but I'm going to change it down to color. And what it does, it kind of goes over and just adds color to this, which is exactly what we want. Another thing we're going to do as well, if it's still selected, I am going to create a new layer. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to fill this as white. So I'm going to change my color to white, go OK. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to change down the occupancy down to 10. Just going to fill this white, just give it a little bit of color. And I'm going to add a glow to this. Now because it's still selected, remember you need it still selected, it adds that little shape of one. Maybe can I go a bit lighter? Not too light, not too much. I could double click on this layer and I can add what's called a nice glow to this. So I can move this to the side so you can see what I'm doing. And we're going to go in a glow. Click on the edge here. I'm going to change this to white. And bring down the occupancy up. And just change this around a bit. So I'm just going to increase, choke on this, move the size. Click OK. Is it done much? It's not really really done much, so I'm going to change it to bit too much there. Maybe I'll try filling this in a bit more. Bit too much. But you can play around. You can see you could change the brightness of this. So actually I don't want to change the brightness of it too much. I'm quite happy with the way it is. So I'm just going to leave it as 10 occupancy. There you go. I'm quite happy with that. It gives a nice shine to it. You can always change it if you wanted to. Turn it on, turn it off. I'm quite happy with that. It brings out the shine a bit more. So next what we're going to do, we're going to be adding a glow effect. So we're going to be adding it to our actual lightning bolt down here. So that's the copy of the lightning bolt we have. So I'm going to double click on this. And in here I'm going to add a outer glow. I'm going to click on there. I'm going to change it to a nice white there. I'm going to change it from screen to normal. And I'm going to increase the size of it. It's a nice big glow there. I'm also going to change the contour of this to maybe a curve. You change these around to see how it looks. And no. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Just spread. Nah, keep spread. Yeah, just keep it like that. That's pretty okay. I just realized something. If I double click on the inner glow on this one, just realized why it didn't work so much. Probably because it's on screen. Turn it to normal. And maybe reduce it slightly the size. Okay. That's not too bad actually. So we've got some nice lightnings there. So another thing we're going to do as well, we're going to add some nice little sparks. So I'm going to go into my shape tool and I'm going to click and hold and change it to the polygon tool here. And at the moment I've got it set to 5 sides. That's exactly what I want. And what it does, it kind of creates a nice star effect. So I'm going to hold shift on my keyboard and I'm going to click and drag from the corner here and just kind of create sort of a weird icon there, and one again at the bottom, bigger one this time. And then finally, as just a nice little soft touch to the points there, I'm going to create a new layer. And I'm going to add a little brush to go on top of this. Now, I don't want it to be just located to the area that I've got selected, so I'm going to go to Select, Deselect, so that's no longer selected. And I'm just going to get a normal brush, so I'm just going to click on a soft brush here. Yep, there we go. I'm just going to put a little dot there. And maybe a slightly bigger one here, about 20, yeah, that's great. There we go, so we've got nice little points there. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to add some text. So I'm just going to get some, let's see, get the text tool. And I'm just going to type in there. I'm going to type in lightning. Just going to select this text. Now I'm going to manipulate this text a little bit so it fits nicely with what I want it to do. You can do it at the top here, but I prefer to use the character bits, the character options here. So you can go to Window, Character, and this window should pop up. I can increase the sizes from 40, let's say 60. I think 60 is not big enough, so I can actually click on the symbol here. You can see my cursor's changed. Click and drag and just actually manually increase that. So yeah, lightning's pretty good there. I'm not sure about the font. I'm going to change that, and you notice that it's all titled. If I untick this, it's gone to higher and lowercase, but I want it to be sort of high like caps, but with also smaller caps as well. So I can click on this and change it to that. If you want to click it also the same cap, you can click on that one, but I kind of like the look of this one. But I want this to be much bolder, so I'm going to choose a different font. So if you click this, you can choose from all kinds of fonts. If you're using Photoshop at home, you could download your own fonts and get some pretty good ones. No, I don't like the look of that one. You can click on this, have it selected, and press down on your arrow key and actually go through all these separately. But it's going to take me a bit long to do that, so I'm just going to do this very, very, very quick as I can, really. And you can see I've kind of got some nice... Oh, I kind of like the look of that. That's nice and bold. Actually, is there another one? I think this one's starting with M somewhere that I did use before that I kind of like the look of. No, don't like that one. Monkey, that's a bit silly. That one is kind of cool. No, it's too floral. You see, I downloaded quite a few brushes. Oh, this one looks good. Show Card Gothic. Oh, I like the look of that. I do like the look of that one. I like that one a lot. So I'm going to change the color of this to black. Now, you may think, oh dear, she's doing this and you're not going to be able to see it much. Not to worry. We can add blending options very much like with the lightning bolts. So, with the lightning text in the layers, I can double click and bring up the blending options. Another alternative to bring the blending options up is right-clicking on the layer and selecting blending options. And what I'm going to do with this, first of all, I'm going to add an outer glow and just change that around a bit. Change it to white and increase it and nice spread, maybe laying down. Yeah, that's quite nice. Nice and soft. I'm also going to add a bit of bevel to this. Just move this around. That's quite good. It's not too bad, the bevel. It's not too harsh. Some people don't like it, but if you want to change it around a bit, maybe soften it. We don't need the dark. Maybe soften the screen one. And then finally, I'm going to add a bit of a gradient to this. So I'm going to go to Gradient Overlay, click on that, and I'm not happy with this bit here. So I'm going to double click and personalize my gradient. So I'm going to have it light in the middle. So I'm going to change the location of this to 50. And I'm going to make a new one. You can make new ones by clicking anywhere here, and if you want to take them off, just click and drag them off. I'm going to change this one to black. Okay, and just pull this, actually move this around a bit. I don't like it being there so much, so I'm just going to kind of manipulate. So it's kind of like lightning going through the middle there. There we go, kind of happy with that. So it's kind of going in the middle. Click OK. I don't want it that strong, so I'm actually going to turn down the occupancy of that, just so it's just very subtle, about 50%. So that's pretty good actually. So I'm going to click OK. I'm quite happy with that. And just move this over here to lightning, just above there. Actually down a bit here. That's pretty good. And I'm going to right click and duplicate this layer. Go OK. Just move this down a bit here. And I'm actually going to change this round a bit. I'm going to change, first of all, the text. I'm just pressing T to get the T tool. Double clicking. And I'm going to change this to lightning bolt. I always find when you're working with type, if you want words to stand out, it's good to pick something that's really good but not too different. So if you've got a thick word, it's best to have text that's got a thinner font. You'll see what I mean in a moment. So I'm just going to change it from Gothic. Just find, I think there's one somewhere at the top here. Let's try, let's see, Lucidia San. Oh, that's the one I want. maybe make it a bit smaller and just move it a bit over here, so lightning bolt. That's kind of good. And then finally, just to finish this off, I'm going to add a nice lens flare. I always like my lens flares, and I've got a really neat trick to this. And we're going to use something called Smart Shapes, which means we can edit it if we don't like the look of it. So I'm going to create a new layer, and I'm going to double click and call this lens. And with this layer, I'm going to fill it black. This will make sense in a moment. So I'm going to change the color here from white to black. I'm going to get my bucket fill here, just fill it black. Oop, now set to 10%. I want it 100% black. Make sure your occupancy here is set to 100%. And with the lens layer selected, I'm going to go over here and change it from normal to screen. And what that does, everything that's black is sort of turned invisible. It's a really nifty tool, that. I'm going to right click on this layer and create, where is it? Convert to Smart Objects. So I'm just going to try and click it over here so you can see it a bit better. So convert to Smart Objects, and now anything I do to this, I can easily go back and edit later. Smart Objects are brilliant that way. So I'm going to go to Filter, and where is it? It's in Render, Lens Flare. Some people don't like lens flares. I do. You can choose between different kinds. You can have some colorful ones, some bright ones, like a move ones. So if you want a colorful one, maybe change it to the top here. Okay. I'm not liking that one. I don't want the color, it's a bit too much. But because it's an object I can change, I can double click on lens flare down here and change it around again. So I'm going to click on this lightning, this one here. Just unfortunately with lens flare you do have to take a bit of a guess as to where you want it. So I'm going to try about there. Just decrease the brightness a little bit. Click OK. Ooh. I don't think I could get that any better. That is hot luck there. So there you go. That's how you create something similar to this one here. Obviously I'd probably choose different text. I'd play around with the words a little bit more, probably change the spacing. You probably move the word bolt a bit. Maybe move it over here. And then move lightning. That's pretty cool actually, just moving it a bit to the side. I don't know. How does it work like that? These are things you do have to play with when you're going into editing, you know, if you want to change things around a bit. Make them smaller, make them bigger. Yeah, it's kind of cool actually, that. But yeah, these are kind of things you do have to play around with. Just leave it. Yeah, lightning bolt like that. That's pretty good. So there you go. That's how you create that icon. Hopefully you've enjoyed this, and feel free to leave any comments if there's any questions or tips. I always welcome any tips. If anyone wants to correct me in anything, please, by all means, go for it.